In the previous episode, we went ahead and picked up the gold farm, moved it all into this little barrel over here, and then we went ahead and built this massive platform over its old location. And we did all of this so we can turn charcoal into coal, which we're then going to turn into diamonds, because we're running low. But you see, before we can start creating the diamonds from the raw materials, we need to understand the recipe. And for that, we're going to head on over to the creative world. So we're over here in the creative world, and right behind us is the recipe of what we have to do to get diamonds. So it's pretty simple. To get to diamonds, we know that we need to have charcoal. And what happens is we press 4 charcoal into a single piece of coal. Then we take 9 coal and press them into a single block of coal. And then we just press the coal with some lava in a basin and we get diamond. So it's a relatively simple process, but I think the big thing we're going to run out of is charcoal. We have quite an amount set up already in the base from the dye farm, but I think it's safe to say that we should maybe add another tree farm and a little area where we can cook those logs into charcoal just to make sure we don't run out. So in theory, we're going to need a farm for wood. We're going to need an area where we convert charcoal into coal and then coal into coal blocks, and then we're going to need an area where we actually make the diamonds. And now that we know what we need, I think it's time for us to go do some planning in the survival world. So the first component we're going to need for this diamond farm is right over here at the back, and that's going to be charcoal. And if we just fly over here and land, say there, we can see we only have 201,000 charcoal. Okay, I know that sounds like a lot, but if you do the math, you need a total of 36 charcoal to do 1 diamond. So in theory, we only have enough for 87 stacks of diamonds, which, okay, is a lot. I know, I understand it's a lot, but I want to max it a draw out, which means we're going to have 65,000 diamonds. So that's why I want to add a tree farm. So what I'm thinking is, well, let's make a tree farm in this general area over here. So we'll have an area where we've got trees growing, we've got a contraption running back and forth, and we can also smelt that all into charcoal in that area. And that will also feed into this system where we'll create charcoal into coal, and then later on into this area where we'll create the coal into diamonds. So that's part number 1, charcoal, and a factory to make it. The second item we're going to need, hot sauce. We're going to need some hot sauce to press with the coal blocks to turn them into diamonds. And we're going to get that from that old train. That train's been riding up and down, bringing in lava into this area, but we've actually managed to fill all our tanks. So we need to make another storage area for some more lava. And the area I'm thinking of is right over here at the very end of this little structure. So we'll have 2 factories, the center one creating diamonds, and the last one over here where we just store additional lava that comes in from the train itself. So now that we know what we need, I think we should just get some basic things in place and then I'll bring you guys back. So I did a lot of planning, I built a few things, and this is what we have. We have these areas marked out, so I'm thinking we do a building in this area, and this will be the general turning charcoal into coal maybe, or charcoal into coal blocks all the way. I do think the second building is going to be a bit empty if we do everything in here. So maybe this can just be charcoal coming in, charcoal being turned into coal, and then from here it will go into this area where coal gets turned into coal blocks, and the coal blocks gets turned into diamonds. So we've got 1, 2 buildings, and I was thinking of maybe doing 4 lava tanks on the end of here. So we fill up this whole wing of this platform, but like I said, that's what I'm thinking now. You all know me at my change in the blink of an eye, but that's it. And then over this is going to be relatively fixed. What I did is I marked out 2 areas. So we've got this area over here where we will be growing trees. I considered turning it into grass, but I think I'm just going to leave it dirt. And then down here, I marked out a secondary little area. So I think I want to do the trees growing up high over there. And then we've got the whole smelting of, or the cooking of logs into charcoal down in this area. So we can have a bunch of fans and stuff underneath this little dirt platform, and I think that can work quite nice. But yes, so we've got the areas marked out, and then we can connect all of these up and turn all of this into dirt, do some roads and stuff. But I do want to add maybe a structure in the middle. Who knows, only time will tell. But I think the first thing we need to do is maybe get the lava tanks in, and the reason for that is because that way the train can start filling them up and we don't have to wait for it to fill up once the factory is up and running. And I'm thinking what I'll do is I will bring those tanks straight through the ground so they actually are very tall and they look like this big structure that pierces through the ground. I might open this up. I will see. But let's grab a few resources and we'll get started on all of this. So we're currently in free cam mode, just so I can show you all what's been happening. So this is the original input from the train to the lava tanks over there. So what we do is we pull lava from there and it goes that direction. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to install an additional pump in this area over here, which will then start pumping lava all the way down here, and it will go, if we just go here, it will run around, along here all the way there and up to our storage area. So on this line I still need to add a bunch of pumps and stuff, and we will do that just now. And then over here we have like little buffer underground. It just didn't look right doing 4 little tanks over here, so I did one over here. That's a little first little buffer, and from here it will go into this tank, and from this tank it will distribute to all of those we have there. We also have power running here. That's because between episodes I've been getting the power all the way from the power station over there and running it in this direction, actually running it all the way over there to where the new gold farm location will be in the near future. So this is what we have in regards to the lava line, and what I need to do now is quickly just hook up a bunch of pumps and just make sure it gets into this tank over here, and everything's connected up. So we have all these tanks starting to fill up. This one's already full, and I literally just connected the pumps and it's full. This one's getting there. These are all seems like half, which is really cool. And oh, I closed my little hatch down, but if we go down under here, we have this tank over here. This one is also already pretty filled up. So I just need to come around, make this look a little bit better. So currently these tanks are 5 high, so I might increase the height. I might, but I first want to see what these buildings look like right next to this. So yeah, I think the next thing we need to do is maybe tackle the tree farm, because then that way that can start running, it can create some charcoal, and while we make charcoal we can start building these 2 little factories. So for this tree farm we're just going to do a basic card contraption thingamajig again, so nothing too fancy. So if we head on over here, we'll have our cart in this little area over here, and from here we'll just extend all the way to the other side like so. And these blocks will just be temporary for now because we just need to use them to place our little saws on them. So the saws will go in this direction. But the most important thing with this contraption is trees can actually grow while it's going that way, so we need to add saws on the back as well. So now we can just add all these saws going down here. Once we have all our saws in, we can just go ahead and rip out the casing in the center, running all the way to the other side. And then we can just go and add some deployers over here. And what these deployers will do is they'll just constantly plant saplings for us, ensuring that the trees will continue to grow. So now we've got all of that in place. The next thing we need to do is we need to add some form of storage to this. And I think what I want to do is maybe add the storage on this edge over here. So let's say storage over here somewhere, like so. Maybe move it up 1 like this. And then we can do our portable little interface right over there, and we'll just turn it around so it faces downwards. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to remove this first, because we do need to add saplings to these filters, and then I'm going to glue it all together, and then we can give it a little test run, see if it runs, and hopefully it does. So I have it all glued up, I have that little interface in place, we have all the filters, and I did add a bunch of saplings to this little vault over here, so hopefully they get distributed to those items. But if we put down a card assembler there, we make sure this is on lock rotation, and we turn it on and we let it go. Okay, perfect. So it will start to plant all the trees, and as those trees grow it will harvest them, and we'll just take the saplings, plant them again before it eventually deposits the wood, and the wood will go into the burning area that we're going to build next. Okay, so we got our first tree, and the first thing I'm noticing is the leaf color, which ain't the prettiest of colors, but I guess it's fine. Otherwise we should grow spruce, but then spruce will become 2 tall trees. Oh, See, now these are the things that really bother me. So I'm gonna just ignore it for now, and I'll think about it as we build the next part, and we'll change it maybe. Okay, so we're back, and I changed up a bunch of things even before I decided to change the trees, because I noticed a bunch of things that they were spaced too close to each other, and we're not going to get enough saplings. So that's the first thing I did. The second thing I went ahead and got done was added the deployers, or changed the deployers so they actually face this way. That way, when they harvest trees that way, by the time they come back, they can place all the saplings and stuff like that. So we will have areas where we don't have saplings placed, but that's not the end of the world. They will get saplings whenever the contraption goes this way. So now it will go, it'll place the saplings, and that's it. What might happen is we might not get saplings on these last two rows, maybe only on the last row, but that's okay. It's something I can live with. So with all of those changes, I also went ahead and added a little storage drawers, and this is what I've gathered up so far. Not a lot of things, but we've got a bunch of saplings, we've got some logs, we've got sticks and apples. So that's perfect. So now I think what we need to do is we need to bring all of those items over with some drawer trims and get them in this area where we will be smelting up. Okay, I thought about it all, and this is the area where the item's going to end up. We're going to have a storage system in this area over here, and from here we'll run a belt, and we'll run it over all the way to over here. I know it's a bit long, but we've got the space, so why not utilize it? And then at the back we can just do a bunch of encased fans that blow through the lava onto this belt, and that will slowly turn everything into charcoal. We can potentially also do it from the top, which might be a lot cooler, because then we can actually walk here without getting burned. So that might be something we have to do. But anyway, for now, let's then take all of this. We're going to have to connect this with a spruce trim, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take it back 3 like this, and we'll just run it all the way to that area over there. Once we get on this side, we're going to rip out this drawer over here, and we're going to replace that with a drawer slave, and that will just allow for these items to get put into that system. So I'm going to quickly connect it all up. So it's connected up, and now it's stopped. Let's see, are these items increasing? They are. Okay, so that's working. So we've diverted all the items from there all the way to over here. So now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add all the fans, get the area ready for the lava and those kind of things, and then I'll bring you guys back. Okay, so we've got all the little cages in, we've got the encased fans in, I've got the belt in, the filters, the drawers, everything should be fine now. So in theory, if we connect that shaft to this, you can see it's turning that way, and we're going to transfer that with the encased fans, then this should move and slowly start cooking up the logs. And I'm just going to send out 16 for now, and then after we see that works and where it converts, we'll try and push that up to 32 and continue until we have the optimal amount. But the next thing we need to do is we need to insert lava in all of these little holes. So if we now put lava right over there, we can see it's blowing down the heat, which is what we want. So now we've got the lava in, we've got all the particles going, and if we are to put the shaft down there, oak logs should be coming out, and let's just see where it starts to convert. I'm betting right about here somewhere. Oh, not. So right about there. So that seems like just a little bit over halfway. So I don't know if we should actually increase it from 16. Let's do a little test. Let's make it 32. Because those will make it in on time. That's fine. I think 32 will only start over there somewhere. That's still 16. That's the first stack of 32. It converts on the very end. So I think it should be fine if we leave it on 32. So we do half a stack at a time. And as you guys can see, we're already filling that up as well. And this will add to the charcoal we have in that area. And we will run some more of these trims down through this hole all the way back to that area. But I think this is basically it for this area. We've got some of these items. I will put voids on the others, but I mean, the logs can just continue running. And this should work fine. I will maybe test it a bit. If I see the oak logs aren't doing too well, I will see what it looks like with two tall trees like the spruce trees. But for now, I think we've got this going. So we have the lava filled up, we've got the charcoal, and now I think it's time for us to start getting the stuff ready so we can turn charcoal into coal and coal into diamonds. Okay, so we're at the first little factory, and in this factory, we're going to be turning charcoal into coal and coal into coal blocks. So we're going to have items come out, run on a belt, get pressed, run into a storage, which is charcoal, and which is coal, sorry, and then from the coal we're going to go into a second press that will turn it into coal blocks. So how I think we need to do that is we've got this space, and I think it's 13 wide, 3, 6, 9, 12, 13. So I think how it's going to work is we're going to have items come out through from a drawer on this side. It will run over, and it can go over 7. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. And then this one again, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in the center we will have charcoal or coal. Let's just do a few like this, something like that, because I want it to be 3 deep. As soon as we can optimize this the better. So let's just rip this out. So we can have items get put into this, which is then coal. And on this side, we're going to get items pulled out, which will be charcoal. So charcoal gets pulled out. Here we'll put in coal. And then here we'll pull out again. And here we will put in coal blocks. So I think we need to do another single draw. So we'll have coal, a block of coal in this area. So charcoal, coal, block of coal. And I think I'm going to rip this one out and also turn this into a 1x draw, which will just then in the long run create more storage for either of those two. Okay, so I removed the little belt at the back, moved it to the front because I think it would look nice if we have the machine contraption in front here. And as we expand, we can rather expand to the back. But for now, I think this could do. And what I want to do is I'm going to just use brass funnels on these, just like so. And then in the center, we're going to have basins. So this first basin will take, like mentioned, charcoal. And we're going to do, whoop, that's too far. And we're going to do a press on top of that. And the press will turn that into coal. And then again, the coal will come all the way over here. We'll do a press on it. And this will turn it into the coal block. So we'll add an andesite funnel there. We'll add an andesite funnel over there. And it's already chucking it out in the right area. And we're just going to take this and say, well, you're going to turn that into coal. And you're going to turn this into a block of coal. And that should basically be it. We don't need anything else for this pod. And now we can just turn all of these things around, make sure they face the back because it's just easier to power it. And now we can just run power into this. And the power should come up right over here. If we go all the way down, we've got power there, so we can run it up. And I think it will look nice if we run it up in this little niche. And then from here, we'll just take it over to the buildings we need it in. So I did a little bit of the redstone and everything should be connected and running in the right direction. So if I were to do that, we have belts flowing. They're going very slow for now, but we'll change all of that. So that turned all of that charcoal into coal. So we've got 2. Okay, so that's working, but let's just quickly chuck in a bunch of charcoal, coal in there just to see, and then they get pushed in there. Pressed. And then we've got a block of coal. Okay, so all of this is working, but let's just fly down here and speed up the system because it feels way too slow. And then if we go over here, I think let's make it 128 for now. Let's see what that does. Yeah, that seems a bit faster. I think that's fine. It's still not the fastest contraption. I think it's moving at quite a nice speed. Well, we got those 3 creating charcoal to coal. And from those, we have this one converting it into coal blocks. And I know it's not super fast, but I mean, that's already almost a stack of diamonds in a matter of minutes. And To be honest, that's the most we're ever going to need, because there's not a lot of things we use diamonds for except for all the draw controllers and for diamond wands. So I'm happy with this. I'm happy with the speed and everything, and if we do need to increase it or make it more efficient, then we will add a bunch more of these little contraptions over here, and maybe even add an additional few rows converting charcoal into coal. So I'm happy with this part, and I think we can move on to the next part, which will be this part over here where we convert the coal blocks into diamonds. So let's do that. So in this little building over here, we're going to create the diamonds. Again, using the block of coal that we're crafting over there, bringing them over, pressing them down, and adding lava to them. So I think how I want to start this is I want to actually do a lava tank just to fill this area up. So we'll have a lava tank, and then from the lava tank, we'll actually run some belts over like this. And then I think we should stop it maybe a bit short. Something like this. So this is 9 wide. So I think we should go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we do our basin over here. And then from here, we can just pull it right into the storage system, which I think could work nicely. And maybe we should do only a double lane. So we'll do one over there and the second one running right over here. And the reason for that is because now we can have a pipe coming through the middle of here and feed into both basins. So something like that, with a pipe connecting over there, and this pipe can then just be powered from down here somewhere, where I think we'll have to do some bit of magic with the power, I think. But yes, that's a general idea. And then over here, we're also going to then do this, because we need to press these two down. And then, yeah, if we press them down, so we've got the lava in there, we get the blocks of coal in there, we'll press down, and that will just run over into a storage over there. So let's quickly get the rest of the drawers and everything in, and then I'll bring you guys back. Okay, so I add a lot of pipes, and I know it looks a bit wonk at the moment, but ignore this. Remember, there's going to be a wall over here, so it's going to look like the pipe's going into the build, and on this side it's going to come out of the build, and then we have the lava entering this tank. So this line on top will provide lava to this tank, while this pump down here will take lava out of this and pump it into these two basins. So all we need to do now is actually two things. Number one, hook up this pipe over here, and that should start pumping through lava, which is fine, but we need to give power to that. And to do that, we're just going to add a shaft over there. And why did that break? I'm not really sure why that broke. So let's run all of that all the way to there. Okay, let's see, why is this one doing this? Okay, so we just need to sort out this. Oh, it's this little gearbox over here. Okay, so we can rather do that. Then both of those run the same way. Okay, so we've got diamonds forming, but what we do need now is just to power these cogs, and I think the best way will be to rip out this one, add that over there, and then we just do that and that. Oh, we can't do that because we need a gearbox over here. But that should still be working. Yeah. That's working. So we've got lava pumping into this tank now, so that should slowly fill up, which looks really cool. And then we've got the coal blocks coming out, and they get pressed down into diamonds, and we have 119 diamonds, 120 diamonds already. And I think that's a success story over there. We've got diamonds, so we're not going to have to go mining for them so we can craft our draw controllers anymore, or diamond wands, or any of those kind of things anymore, which is a relief, which is one less thing we need to go caving for. But now we've got a bunch of exposed contraptions and platforms floating in the air, and just a lot of weirdness going on, and I think it's time we fix it. I think it's time we cover these areas, add some platforms, and we're going to do that with a little build montage. So sit back and enjoy. And just like that, we've got platforms and structures. And I really think it all looks real cool. I did add in all the dirt in this area, texturized it up, and like I mentioned, we will be doing something in this area. But over here, we've got the little tree farm, and I have changed it up a bit. I added some cherry blossom and birch just to see if any of those grow faster. And to be honest, no, I don't think so. I'll have to go read up, see if there's a tree that grows faster than the other. If not, then we'll just have to rely on the other farm as well, feeding into this. But so far, it's been doing well. And we have over here this little building, and if we enter by the front door, it's not been decorated at all. I think what I want to do is I want to maybe move the storage inside here and clean up that area, make that just the burning area. But then if we go upstairs over here, we've got this little floor and another room over here, which I'll also maybe decorate, maybe do the statistics of this contraption and turning it on and off, everything in here. But that's it for this little area. We've got this little retaining wall, planted some cacti up there. If you come down here, we've got a little fire escape at the back. And just like these little drums, I did not add a bunch of bushes and leaves to this area because I first want to see what I do here before I tackle that. Also, that's why I didn't change out this dirt. And I ran out of blocks. That's it. But then if we go on over to this side, over here, we've got this whole area. We've got this tank at the bottom, like shown before. And if we go this way, you can see we've got these two buildings also matching the style of this general area. And I think it looks really, really nice over here. So if we go into this first build, I added a pile of coal over here. So if we head on through, we've got piles of coal, dust, and everything piling up. And we've got the blocks being made. And it's pretty loud in here. But we've got coal. And then from coal, we'll go to blocks of coal. Sorry, I forgot my words there. And if we head on over to this side, we've got this little catwalk connecting the two. But on this side, we've got the whole diamond processing plant with the lava in here, the lava running over and then feeding in from the bottom. And we've made 7,972 diamonds so far. I need to remind you, I don't need more diamond tools. I don't need more diamond armor. I don't need diamonds for anything except for storage drawers and some of those components. And even then, I don't use a lot. So I think we're sorted. We've got unlimited diamonds being generated, but we haven't reached the unlimited point yet, but it's okay, we've got it. And then just to show, we've got this little fire escape on the end on this side, and if you follow this up, this actually runs through all the buildings. We can get up via a ladder from inside the building, but you can use this to get to the other builds as well, which I think is quite neat. And from here we can exit and we're on top of this level, which is really, really fun. And I like it. I love this build. I think it came together quite nice, and I like how it's sitting on top of the old buildings or the old area down there. So while the diamonds are crafting in the background, I want to discuss a question that was in the comment of the previous videos, and it's about those little guys behind me, backpacks. The question in general was, how do I manage my backpacks? What's my train of thought behind my backpacks? And to be honest, it's an ever-growing process. But let's run through what I'm currently doing. So first of all, we've got the B button, which is our standard backpack. And this is generally stuff I use in the long term. I add my food in there because I've got a feeding upgrade in there. I'll add milk for when the pillagers come around, and then I've got all my tools in here because I've got the tool swapper upgrade in there as well, and then also fuel and stuff for the backpack, some random bits, experience to mend my things. We've got some waystones if I want to place waystones. So that's generally what's in here. Then starting over here, we've got the green backpack, and this is generally my woody bits and my drawers, my trims and stuff like that, and also the upgrades for those. And in here I also have the carpenter table that you use for doing these wood different types of woods, the different types of barrels and stuff like that. So this is technically the wood backpack. Then I've got this diamond backpack, which is just a dark gray one. This is usually glass, and then like you see it gets really messy in here. But this is usually glass walkways, the chip table for the glass and all those kind of things dies. And if I kill random animals and stuff on the road or gather resources, ores, I just chuck them in here because I'll sort it out later. I sort this one quite a lot, but this is what this one's used for. Then we've got this little brown one over here. This brown one is my terraforming one. This is a new one I created. So in here, I've got all the types of dirt like that we use to texturize the path, but then also leaves and crops and stuff that generally I use to build trees or make little planters or whatever. Like if I need to put a dead bush down or cactus down, that's where that will be. Then we've got this funky color one, and this is basically just rails and stuff I use on trains, and some of the contraptions like the water wheel cart. This one I use to dig tunnels to build water wheels in. This is to create big tunnels, and this is a vertical chunk miner, so it mines a 16 by 16 chunk all in one. And then I've got general rail stuff. I've got narrow rails, normal rails, station schedules, all those kind of things that you use with mine carts and trains in general. Then we've got the blue one. We're going to skip the yellow first. We've got the blue one, and this is just my basic building blocks and my framed blocks that all go in here. I am considering doing a framed backpack on its own, so we have all of that together, because currently it's just a bunch of random stuff in here. But then we've got our general blocks, stones, the cutters, all the tables for those type of things. And that's what's going on in this one. So this is the one I use, I think, the most in regards to building, because I've got all my granite in here. And if I need to, I can just open it. It's got a stone cutter in it, so I can chuck my granite to the side and cut it real quick. And what I've noticed is I think Chipped actually add upgrades for these little stations of theirs that you can also add in here. So I'm going to change those out and also add them in here in the long run. First, I need to get all of these upgraded to netherite so we can get some more upgrading slots. Then the last one, the create backpack. This is the key one, I think, for this mod, because in here I've got all my create components and some extra junk. And this is just where I store all the create stuff that I'm going to use for projects in the future. Some of it's a one-time use, some of it I haven't even used, like crafting blueprints, but that's the idea of just having all the resources, or at least one of each item in here. And the items I use to craft these items are also keeping here, like the zinc, the gold, the iron, all over there, the brass, the andesite alloy. So it's not necessarily only create items in here, but it's also ingredients to craft create items. So yeah, that's why all of that's in there. So that's my idea of organization in the form of backpacks. Like I said, it's an ever-growing, evolving experience for myself, and I change it up so often that it's hard to say that's exactly how it's going to stay. But I hope this will help you in organizing your backpacks and make it easier for yourself, because honestly, I think this game would be chaos if it wasn't for backpacks. So we're kind of running out of time, but before we leave, I just want to show you guys something that I've been doing over here. You see, I've been working on the little texturizing, adding dirt and stuff to it, like we spoke in a previous episode, and I have to admit, I love this texture and everything. And then I started planning where things would go. So currently the blue represents walkways, so I'm thinking we'll do little paths, and in green will be trees. I'm going to go with a bunch of those trees, but I do want to try and add one, maybe two other variants of trees in here as well. So the idea is that you have these structures between all the trees, and that's what these symbolize, that trees maybe go there. We've got some trees there, we'll do a little pathway and I'll connect. And then I ran out of blocks, but that will be general pathway as well, so we connect all the buildings up so you can easily run between them. And then at the back here, I stopped it quite straight because I think this building is the one that's sticking out the furthest. And what I'm thinking is maybe in line over here, we'll do like a little compound wall, and we'll have it run all the way through past here, and then we'll see how we tie it into this area. But I'm thinking that is the general idea for the floor, for the fencing and stuff like that. So I'm pretty... Oh, my little chimney's all gone. Huh. No wonder there's no smoke. Okay, anyway, distracted. So that's the idea. So all of this will still be turned into dirt, and I think it's going to look a lot better. I've gotten some really cool ideas for what I need to do down there, and we will get to that sooner than later, I think. Or I'll do it between episodes because it's just going to be terraforming. Also, I got a nice request to please do something about the bridge, and I have been working on something. So a lot of things in the future, but we've also almost reached day 2000 on this world, and I have to admit, this is the longest single player world I've ever had, and it's so much fun. So we're currently on day 1963. So I'm going to be playing in here still a bit, changing everything up, and soon we will have our 2000 day mark, and with that we'll have the next 1000 day video, so keep an eye out for that as well. But that's going to be it for this episode. I ran out of time, and it's quite a long video already, and I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been here, been part of the community, and even for all the nice comments when I said, listen, I'm going to take a break, I'm going to be gone for a week. I appreciate all the comments, all the nice kind words, and I want to say a special thanks to I almost want to call them the unmentioned heroes, or the people we don't see in the appreciation tunnel, which we'll get back to. But I want to say thank you to the lurkers, because a lot of you are in the view account and you watch the videos and you never say anything, but when you do say something, you say really nice things, and I appreciate everyone. So just a thank you to the constant commenters, the lurking viewers, and everybody that's part of this community. I appreciate it, and I will not be able to do this without you guys. So take care, and remember, like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye for now.